The Monmouth women's basketball team has won 3 of its first 5 to begin the 2014-15 season, and the Hawks enter their first step into MAAC play this Friday when they visit defending champion Marist at 7 p.m. The Hawks then return home to take on Iona at 2. I was able to sit down with head coach Jenny Palmateer for a few minutes to get her thoughts on her team's start as well as the beginning of MAAC play this weekend. Coach Palmateer, your team has won 3 of the first 5 to begin this season. 4 of those games, you've scored over 70 points. Before we talk about what you've been doing on the defensive side, just talk about the balanced scoring that your offense has seen, averaging over 71 points a game.
Well, I think the two actually kind of go together. A big focus of ours this season was to be able to increase our pace of play. That really kind of goes along on the offensive end as well as the defensive end. Really, we're shooting to get a lot more possessions this year. And I think that we've been able to do that in the first 4 games for sure. And it's really paid off. You know, those possessions really help us. Now, in order to do that, we have to have a balanced scoring attack. And I think that we've really done a great job with that. We have a lot of people, we're playing a lot of people that can step in at any given moment and have a big night for us.
And just looking at the stat sheet, that is what we see is the balance. Everyone seems to score between 6 and 12 a game, and you've already had it where a few players have gone off in certain games. And when you want to play the way you do and push the pace like you said, how important is that to not just count on one player every single night, but to know on a given evening 2 or 3 could really carry you?
I think it's huge and it's critical. You know, we got to know that we can go to our bench and have people that can go in and we don't skip a beat. And right now we have that. We have a lot of different weapons. I feel like we have some shooters, we have some penetrators, we have great size on the inside. They really have the ability to get after it on the defensive end as well. And the combination of that is really, I think, why we've been seeing success early in the season and something that we hope to just keep improving upon. But it won't be abnormal for us to play 8 for sure, any given game, 10 or 11 players pretty regularly.
And you referenced the defense, which has been very good this season, averaging about 65 points given up. But the more impressive numbers that I noticed, holding the opposition under 35% shooting and under 20% from 3. And you mentioned how the pace of play can dictate that. But please speak to how just ferocious your team has been defensively, because they've been turning people over. And when they do allow shots, the opposing teams aren't making it very often.
Well, I think we're doing a great job really kind of forcing the pace of play. Teams that aren't used to playing that fast, I think it affects their shot selection and their shooting percentage for sure. But we've been really playing great team defense, and that's something that I'm really proud of so far this season. And so you never really have one-on-one. It's always one on 2, 1 on 3, 1 on 4, sometimes 1 on 5 even. But they've really bought into, our team has really bought into that, and I think it's showing on the defensive end. They understand the importance of ball pressure. They understand the importance of being in the right positions. And it's something that is as good as it is right now. We actually still have a whole lot room for improvement, and I look forward to seeing what that will look like as the season goes on.
And now, Coach, you get that weird break in the schedule where after 5 non-league games, you get 2 in conference before finishing up your non-conference schedule. And it just happens to be it's 2 of the best teams in the MAAC, in Marist and Iona. And as we look ahead, talk first about Friday evening. Going up to Marist, always a very tough place to play up in Poughkeepsie and all the championships that they've won. But how do you feel your team is ready now going up into that game? You get to begin the league schedule with, well, the team that won the championship last year.
I mean, really, who would want to start any different? I mean, it's a great challenge, and I think we're really excited about it. You know, and we know you're going to have to face every team at some point. And really, I think it'll be a really good measuring stick for us. 1, to be at Marist, which is always a challenge in itself. 2, to face them so early. I think it'll just be a really good measuring stick for us, and I'm really excited to have those 2 games early. To see what we're made of, and it's just a great challenge and just such a great opportunity. And you know, it could go either way. Either way, I feel like we're okay. You know, I mean, we're going to learn a lot from these 2 games moving forward for the conference, and to be able to have them so early gives us a lot of time before the next conference game. So we're really, really excited and eagerly. You know, we're waiting for that game. It's been on the schedule. The girls have known about it since the conference schedule came out. And I think that they're going to be ready for that, and there's going to be a lot of excitement. around the gym the next 2 days of practice as we prepare for that. And when we get up there, we're just going to do our thing. You know, we're going to do our thing and see where we measure up.
And then, Coach, briefly, you then return home to take on Iona Sunday at 2 o'clock. Always good to get back in front of the home crowd. Just talk about that matchup with the Gales briefly.
Oh, that's a fun one for us. You know, I mean, we had 2 great battles with them last year where we were really 3.
Right.
We're right with them, you know, at their place. We lost on a buzzer beater, you know, and so we're really excited about it. You know, we're in such a different place this year than we were last year. And so it'll be interesting to see. Until the ball's actually tipped, you never really know how things will play out, you know. But I feel like we're a much more confident team this year. We have a lot more weapons, so it'll be really interesting to just kind of see how Iona kind of can match up with that. And to have them at home first is huge, huge. I hope we get a great crowd for that game. We've had really, really good crowds, I feel like, at home so far this season, and it always amazes me, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but to me a really good crowd is an extra probably 10 to 15 points a game for us, because the enthusiasm and the energy that's generated from that for us on the basketball court, I can't put the value to that. It's huge. So would love to have a great crowd for that.
Well, and I know from your days as a player at NC State, now as a coach, I know you've seen it kind of from both sides. So, Coach, we do appreciate a few minutes. Good luck this weekend, first at Marist and then at Iona. We appreciate a few minutes.
Thanks, Eddie.
I want to thank Monmouth head women's basketball coach Jenny Palmateer for joining me as her team prepares to begin MAAC play. The Hawks take on the Red Foxes on Friday at 7 p.m. up in Poughkeepsie before returning home to host the Gales from Iona in the first game of a doubleheader with the men's team Sunday at 2. You can catch that game as well as all Monmouth home women's basketball games right here on the Monmouth Digital Network, part of MonmouthHawks.com.